Uh, can you all hear me?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Shri Shri Radha Madhav Ashta Sakhi ki jai. पंचतत्व भगवान की जय. Nrsimhadev Bhagwan ki jai. Hare Krishna. Very, very warm welcome to everybody for this morning's Japa Yajna. Firstly, on behalf of my leader, I thank all the Chapa leads who came in and performed their service. So, as always, we move to the next best part of the morning program, which is the discussion on the Srimad Bhagavatam. A very short kirtan. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Raja Janarandana Yamuna Tira Manachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jayo Gandharvika Giridhari Gandharvika Giridhari Gaura Hari Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha Jayo Antadev Lakshmi Narasimha Jayo Antadev Nithai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nithai Gaur Hari Bol Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayana Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Today we are reading from Canto 1, Chapter 15, titled The Pandavas Retire Timely. We are in the 21st verse. Tadvai dhanushtai shavasaruto hayaste soham rati nrupatayo yatanamanti sarvam kshanena tadadbus asat ishariktam Pashmam hutam kuhakarabdam ivoptamushyam. Lovely verse. We'll read the translation. I have the very same Ghandiva bow, the same arrows, the same chariot, drawn by the same horses, and I use them at the same as the same Arjuna, to whom all the kings offered their due respects. But in the absence of Lord Krishna, all of them at a moment's notice have become null and void. It is exactly like offering clarified butter to the ashes, accumulating money with a magic wand, or sowing seeds on a barren land. It's a small purport. We will read it because these are some amazing purports. Look at how Prabhupada starts. So, like a teacher, as we have discussed more than once, one should be not puffed up by the borrowed plumes. As energies and powers are derived from the Supreme Source, Lord Krishna, and they act as long as he desires and cease to function as soon as he withdraws. All the electrical energies received from the powerhouse, as soon as the powerhouse stops supplying energy, and the bulbs are of no use. In the moment's time, such energies can be generated or withdrawn by the supreme will of the Lord. Material civilization without the blessing of the Lord is a child's play only. As long as the parents allow the child to play, it is all right. As soon as the parents withdraw, the child has to stop. Human civilization and all activities thereof must be dovetailed with the supreme blessings of the Lord. And without the blessings, all advancement of human civilization is like a decoration on a dead body. Very powerful statement. It is said here that the dead civilization and its activities are something like clarified butter on ashes. The accumulation of money by magic wand and sowing of the seeds in a barren land. Just give me 1 minute. Sorry for the interruption. So it was a wonderful purport. We'll now go on to the try and discuss this verse. Before I start, I seek all the players of all the assembled Vaishnavas and their blessings so that whatever we discussed today is in the lines of what Srila Prabhupada wanted us to focus on. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjala Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovishtum Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yudapada Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagritatam Sagana Lagunathan Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamsha हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कंचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये पंचाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नमः। कृष्ण भूतले श्रीमते जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। So what a verse. Tadvai danushta iva shishavasa saro hasyaste soham rati nupatayo yatamanamantī sarvam kshanena tadadbhuta isariktam bhashmam muhutam kuhakaradamivoktamushyam. I have the very same Kandiva bow, the same arrows, the same chariot, drawn by the same horses, and I use them in the same Arjuna, to whom all the kings offered their due respect. But in absence of Lord Krishna, all of them, at a moment's notice, have become null and void. It's exactly like offering clarified butter on ashes, accumulating money with a magic wand, or sowing seeds on barren land. So, as I said, Prabhupada, kind of starts with I've discussed this more than once. As in every time when a teacher starts this, she always repeats that. So, just the background that Arjuna is very surprised how quickly it all happened, and he was feeling very helpless. All this has happened. He's actually, I've heard that he was wandering in Dwaraka like a haunted and a hopeless person. Okay, but when he was doing so, he was slowly thinking about what was Krishna's instructions. Okay, then remember, he remembered Naham Prakasha Sarvasya Yogamaya Samabrat. Yeah. Okay. Then so he remembered all this. So, Lord had told, I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. I am covered by my internal potency, and therefore they do not know I am unborn or unfallible. Ordinary people cannot see Krishna's pastimes. They are, the aprakata lila. They are in the aprakata rupa. Okay. Then Arjuna starts thinking, if I follow the instructions, I have the chance to go back to the same Leela. So Krishna had also told Arjuna, Mameva satyam te rachit pratijanayati priyo swami. That is, I promise you, why you will come back to me without fail. And he suddenly also remembered, Krishna had told, Ma suchaha, don't worry. All these instructions. I remember we had used a word, I think, in one of the morning lectures, Sanjalpa. All these instructions came to me. So Arjuna remembers all this and starts to think, okay, now I have to go to Hastinapura. I will start back my services. I am not going to just uh, wander like this, right? So he then says, I will take up my Gandiva and do my service. Remember, he had to bring all the wives to Delhi, the Hastinapura. So what he does, he takes the Gandiva, but remember, he is not aware that the fact that it is not going to work for him. He took all of the wives from the Samudra. Remember, whoever has been to Dwaraka will know from Pet Dwaraka, you have to come to the land. So he comes to the mainland and then immediately he hears a lot of sound behind. The entire Dwaraka was getting submerged. Okay. Very soon, huge noise and hardly a few domes were available and the entire Dwaraka gets submerged. Right. That is, they say it is an eternity of silence. Now he was wanting to move towards, he took his chariot. He said, I will still continue with my service, right? Heading towards Hastinapur. Now, at that time, it says there was some infidel, or Prabhupada uses uh, another term, I think ignoble. So I was just trying to find the meaning because you need to sit with the dictionary whenever you are reading Prabhupada's purport. It talks of some not honorable in character or purpose or a very ordinary coward man. In fact, one of the meaning almost said they were nasty, but they were all Gopagan. Okay, they just defeated and took away the queens. Now, can you imagine that when Arjuna was trying to tie up the Gandiva, he was not able to even tie up the Gandiva. You need to pull the string, tie it up, make it tight, and make that sound, right, to see whether it is in perfect condition. Like it was like, what do you say? We have heard this very casual word in college, bully, bully. The seniors come and bully the uh, juniors. Like that, he was hopelessly bullied, right? He did not know who these men were. Okay. Of course, I missed Radhakrishna Prabhu's class. I think in that, the previous verse, very clearly, Prabhupada is quoting Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, justifying that in the research of Vishnu Puran, Brahma Purana, there was a beautiful explanation of how Ashtavakra Muni had given the curse and just to keep the promise of Ashtavakra Muni, because he had mentioned that you will all join back to your husband. Just to keep that, Krishna had to take expansions. So how many expansions was covered, boy? Arjuna probably in the lighter note, Arjuna had probably not read Vishnu Purana and Brahma Purana. So he was feeling hopeless. This message that Arjuna got defeated had spread around the world. So that is why when he came to Yudhishthira, Yudhishthira was asking, it seems like he was asking, what happened? Did you have the Gandiva? That's why he's saying, no, Tadvai Danush. I had the Gandiva. Remember, it is the same Gandiva once when they were in the Ajnatavas, when Uttara Kumara was asked to bring all the weapons from the tree. He could not even lift the Gandiva. And Arjuna had asked Uttara Kumara, you ride the chariot, I'll sit behind. And when Arjuna was tying the Gandiva and making the sound, he was telling that, my ears will get, I lose my hearing capacity. I lose my eardrums will break. Please stop. I cannot hear that. That is the kind of, weapon he was talking of. And then he is saying, did you have, it's like people ask, don't you have the bullets in the gun? Like, did you have the arrows? He's saying, Tadeshava, that's Sarato, highest everything. These are the same arrows. The quiver is full of arrows for Arjuna, he'll never get over. Then he's saying, is this the same chariot? Did you have the chariot or not? Of course, it's not the one which is in Mahabharata because that was destroyed, but Arjuna had a wonderful chariot. And the same horses too. The same 4 super horses he had. Then, if you see, it says, Soham Rati Nrupatayo Yatanamanti. Then Arjuna is saying, Yatanamanti. This is the same, I am the same Arjuna. All these big super duper kings used to come and offer their Dandavat Pranam for him. And some people used to even offer Dandavat to Gandiva. He's saying, I am the same Arjuna. Now what happened? Now Sarvam Kshanena Tad Adbhuta Asadisha Riktam. He says, now they have become Isha Riktam, null and void, because Krishna is not providing the potency. Okay. Now, we'll focus on this Isha Riktam. Because that is the key aspect here, null and void. How did the Arjuna's potency become Isha Riktam? Now, this is the aspect of philosophical aspect or the verse says. Now, let's see what is the practical application which we can see from here. Now, daily we get up, Mangalarati, we see the Mangalarati, we then have to take the bead bag. It is the same bead bag, it is the same person, and we have to sit in the same place in your house, the same house. It is the same deities or whatever, deities or whoever is having Gandharvika, Giridhari, Mahaprabhu. We sit in front of them. It is the same spiritual master. It is the same instruction. Still, some experience spiritual potency sometimes, and many a times no potency. Okay. Sometimes that is just only hot air. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We keep on going like this, and suddenly we get the headbeat. Oh, one round over. How many times did I hear Hare Krishna Mahamantra fully? Right? So we experience this, potencies sometimes. Like, for example, it's my personal experience that recently we have had some amazing personalities, His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Maharaj, His Holiness Radhesham Prabhu, and recently long stay His Holiness Romapada Swami Maharaj. So I've been having some small sevas like daily walk up to the car, probably carry his items, then taking their association. Immediately, what I felt my taste for japa has increased multifold. Okay. Yes, few days I could not do it in the morning, but even then, remember, Mangalarati, okay, taste coming is fine because everything is perfect timing. I chanted a little later, and even then I was experiencing bliss. I was thinking, wow, it's going so smooth. Why? Because taking Lavamatra Sadhu Sangha, it was directly there. Okay. So, in one of the classes I had heard, Maharaj was doing so many other small classes to a set of devotees that it depends on how our previous 22 hours went, or it depends on how our eating, sleeping, mating, and defending has been taken care. Which means to say, the last 24 hours, what did you eat? Did you take only Krishna Prasadam? Did you sleep at the right time? Did you do all other activities correctly, which is in line of Krishna consciousness? So that is the root cause. Then we see that morning, we have a wow feeling. If the entire 22 hours has gone well, this 2 hours goes excellently, right? So, so we are all preachers, we are all parents. Sometimes we see, right, as parents or as even teachers, something works for us. Then we feel, wow, it worked. Okay, my child listened to me today, or my Bhakti Viksha members took my advice. And we feel great. See, otherwise, generally we can give lectures. When you come home, they'll say, hey, keep all your lecture outside. Here, nothing will work. Your child won't care a damn for you. Huh? So this happens. What happens to all the potency? All the members are taking, you might think, oh, all the members are respecting me, taking all my advice, my own children not listening. So we can experience this Isha Riktam on a daily, day-to-day basis. The Isha barometer, whether it is Riktam or is it full. Okay. It purely decides on the reciprocation of the material energy which happens to us. Okay. That is why we say uh, the more we focus on pleasing Krishna, just receiving His mercy, so that we are much better situated in dealing with everything else in life. So, so I just noted down a few points. How to ensure we don't feel Isha Riktam, right? Everybody don't want to miss having Krishna in our lives, or at least remembering Krishna in our lives. What happens? It all comes back to japa, right? So Romapada Swami Maharaj used to call it like it seems like mission impossible. He used the word. So the single most activity we need to have, which is non-negotiable, is our 16 good rounds. Probably we can add 16 good non-stop rounds also. Okay. So, and in a way, if we do this one thing right, everything else will be all right. Please remember this. First is The single most activity which is non-negotiable is 16 good rounds, and we can add even non-stop, I said. Second is do this one thing right, and everything else will be all right. All forms of devotional service cannot be done in certain circumstances. Like obviously you're traveling, you cannot think of doing arati, or we can think of some other. Maybe there is a fire in the building. You cannot do any other activity, but still you can chant, right? Right? Chanting is if chanting is not done well, everything else will be disturbed. That's the point I want to arrive at. So with good japa, there are less problems. Or I'm sure devotees agree that they get easily solved. There is some kind of a mysterious facilitation by Krishna. He gives us the strength and solves them. And I heard in a lecture they're saying that don't underestimate the power of japa. The whole world with all its senses going on and not yet collapsed. Why? Because some devotees are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. You know that name, Yagnehi Vishnu. So Vishnu says, amongst all forms of Yagna, I am the Japa Yagna. So one person chanting Shuddha can benefit the whole world, right? If you can chant together, we can be together in our chanting, in our hearing, in our serving, it has got tremendous potency. Even recently, His Grace Mathurapati Prabhu had posted one wonderful, yeah, it was a quote by, I want to quote right, so I'll refer this. It was quote by Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj. Our challenge as a devotee is to live together as a team. Never let our sense gratification, self-interest, and ego come in the way of together, living together as it is united group for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna. See the last line. The higher the level of Krishna consciousness, the higher the quality of Vaishnava relationship. So beautiful. So fact is that uh, doing Shuddhanam and doing everything together, that is chanting, hearing, serving, everything, that's very, very important. Last but not the least, you all will agree, all the beautiful temples, deities, good devotees, they've all manifested how? Just simply by the pure chanting of one pure devotee, Srila Prabhupada. So the main point is that how not to be in Isha Riktam. Daily after putting your bead bag, can we pause and see how much of Krishna is manifested in our japa? It's like this is a good example everybody could relate to. We all have our mobiles. We definitely plug in every day. Just tell me, if you just plug in, is it enough? No, you need to switch on, right? Only then the mobile starts charging. That way, try and focus regularly. Okay, that so it's chanting is not enough. It has to be heard also. Focused on, you have to switch it on. Try and focus on regularly, and think after every round. Pause and say, "Have you I heard?" So focus on this aspect of not becoming Ishariktam. It could be lack of faith, not giving proper attention, proper submission to the process. Needless to say, this is a very powerful line. I don't know how I forgot. We need not to commit offenses to Vaishnavas and deities. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had told, chant Hare Krishna and don't criticize others. These were 2 points. Everything else, I shall do it for you. You just simply focus on these 2 points. So, so beautiful. So Prabhupada uses in this purport two analogies. He says, all electrical energy, powerhouse and bulb. So you can, build a house, have all the fancy gadgets, plugged in. And if imagine if there is no main from the powerhouse, there is no power coming to the mains. Do you think it will switch on? No, it's useless, right? And also Prabhupada uses the mother's and child's play. At least I could easily relate to this because many a times during childhood we did not have mobiles or televisions. We were just playing outside, and I knew that my call will come somewhere by 6:30 because my parents would call me. I have to do the homework or whatever, study, or also dinner. Those days dinner used to be earlier because simply because we didn't have a element called refrigeration. Everything else would get spoiled, so we better eat early. So we were all very prompt in that. So I used to get a call, pack up, no matter how interesting the game is. we had to get it because it was a very clear. I think there used to be a first call, second call, I forget. But the last call was be like, when they tell my full name, it means my mother is angry. If I don't go in, I'll have my face consequences. So Lord can say, come, pack up, boys. We have to just give up everything because it's the will of the Supreme Lord. So Arjuna is also giving three examples here. He says, offering butter to the ashes. Okay. And you all know how, end of the day, it is a waste. I mean, it's a different thing that Lord is accepting. As Vishnu is accepting, it's his mouth, and we offer ghee to that. But I'm just giving it for example. The magician, suppose so many times we have attended so many birthday parties and we have seen this magician comes, he does something, takes one 5 rupee, 10 rupee note, does everything, and then suddenly puts a 500 rupee note in your pocket. We all know that that is just a small illusion, right? Otherwise, if he could convert all the 10 rupee notes to 500, why is he still doing being a magician? He could have become a crorepati. Okay. The same example is giving seeing swords in a barren land, right? So, main point is that Krishna is not there, and hence all these Isha Riktam. And maybe like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sanatana Goswami were discussing that, Atma Ram example, and Mahaprabhu gave more than, I don't know if somebody can correct me, more than 70 odd meanings he had given. The same way you can actually apply this Isha Riktam, so many meanings, right? And say, I like Srila Prabhupada's first line. One should not be puffed up by borrowed plumes. Not sure if you have all heard this story in Panchatantra, right? There's a crow who always admired peacock. He said that you're so lucky, you have some wonderful feathers. I wish I had the same. And she actually did that. The crow actually takes all the leftover fallen feathers and plucks it, and crow tries to, whatever, it does that. And then there's no effect. Nobody even looked her way. So you cannot be just proud because the feathers of peacock feathers. Okay. Srila Prabhupada says this, you have to normally have this concept of the principle of Ishavasham. Okay. Don't act great. These are all borrowed greatness. Okay. And I heard a wonderful lecture from His Holiness Bhakti Vinod Swami Maharaj. He was giving a wonderful story about, I have time, yeah, about donkey and deities. Now imagine there was a wonderful deity which Madhurapati Prabhu had posted in the Radha Gopinath. Imagine that smiling deities are kept on a donkey. Somebody had told him, go and sell it in the market. Now, this man had only a donkey, so he was taking the deities nicely on top to the market. And everybody were paying obeisances. And this donkey was like, finally, people came to know my worth. I was enjoying. Now, the donkey did not know these obeisances were not for him. Now, this donkey was feeling great. He went all the way to market, and after some time, obviously, wonderful deities, somebody was ready to take it. They took it, and then this boy was bringing the donkey back. And nobody is even paying the obeisances to the donkey. What happened? Because he was still walking very proud, huh? Because they were paying obeisances to to the deities on which was kept on top. So sometimes these kind of small things could happen. For us also, like Prabhuji, you're wearing dhoti very well. You applied tilak very well. Haribol. So sir, they think that Haribol is for us. He is not appreciating you. He's appreciating the dhoti, or he or she is appreciating the tilak. So it is only glories to the tilak. Okay. So maybe same example, some Mataji, you're great in cooking. You cooked very well. So this kala, this wonderful art, or the art of wearing dhoti or tilak, any of these skills is all it's not just come by practice or sadhana, right? It's God's gift. Thus, we should not take this glory. If you start thinking that all our talents, rather, if we start, utilizing these talents in the service of the Lord, our life will be perfect. And Narada Muni tells Pratechas, your janma, your actions, your deeds, your entire life, your mind, speech, everything will be purified and perfected if you utilize in the service of the Lord. Otherwise, your talents are useless. Okay. And one more thing is that whenever you're using for the service of Lord, even if it taken away, you don't feel depressed, right? There are many examples. It's already 2 minutes past time, but I'll just quickly run through. Seventh chapter we can know. He says, "I'm the taste of the water. I am from me comes all the even the devatas get the powers from me. The juice is from the moon from me. The fire of digestion. Even the digestion what we eat is comes from me. So if you remember." When I said, remember, I 15.15, Apohanam Jnanam, even that is from me. Huh? We have no reasons to be proud of, right? Everything else is coming from me, from Krishna. So we shall all try and not experience Ishwariktam. How, if we keep doing those few things which I said, come to the morning, we are all actually nicely coming to morning japa, doing our japa, hearing these classes and taking some notes, hopefully. So all this Krishna will be pleased, and sometimes he might have mercy on me too, some devotee like me who are, still doing some small endeavors. Thank you very much. Vrajanath Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Patit Pavan Gurudev ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.